No franchise is infallible. For all of its jaw-droppers, it's only natural for a franchise as beloved as Zelda to have those bosses that make you say, What, are you serious? Whether they be insultingly easy or teeth-grindingly frustrating, the 10 you see here are the worst in a series that deserves better. Hey, I'm Nervous Nick for Screwattack's Top 10 Worst Zelda Bosses.
Number 10.
Number 1 best thing about Skyward Sword, the time shift stones and orbs. These things made for some of the coolest Zelda dungeons ever made, and I personally would be interested in a whole game built around this one mechanic. The Sand Ship was one such place these babies could be found in. As the vessel is torn apart by massive purple tentacle after massive purple tentacle, the beast is revealed to be Celia from Monsters, Inc. Not quite what I was hoping for, but as long as those time shift stones are used, this could be one of the most memorable bosses, or it's the most straightforward boss in one of the least straightforward dungeons. That was freaking crap!
Number 9.
I've said this before, I love you, Majora's Mask, but you had 5 bosses to name. Why are 3 of them Adowa, Got, and now Gyorg? I have a few questions for whoever named your bosses, but pronunciation is the least of Gyorg's worries, and for the sake of ease, shall henceforth be known as George. Ottawa was a tiki man, but he was a giant tiki man. Goat was a goat, but a robot laser goat. George is a slightly larger than average fish. A fish that vomits its young and Benjamin Buttons itself when it dies, but a fish nonetheless. I think I'd rather fight the palm tree turtle that brought me to this dungeon.
Number 8.
Like we said last time, Skyward Sword's got some pretty neat bosses. It also makes you fight the imprisoned, so overall it about breaks even. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It makes you fight the imprisoned 3 times, so it actually comes out to be slightly in the red. You fight him the first time, it's kinda cool. Every time you fight him after that, well, this is basically how it went for me. Oh look, it's this guy again. Alright, I'm gonna jump on your head and no, frick, look. Gosh, dang. Alright, jump on his head and no, why'd you pull out a bomb? Why'd you pull out? No! Come on, jump on his head. No, freaking gosh, dang it! I swear I'm gonna cut off your toes. I'm gonna cut off the toes of your family. I'm gonna cut off the toes of everybody you freaking loved. Yes, finally, the last. Where is he? Oh, you've got to be kidding! He's on the freaking. Oh my gosh! Frick! Jeez! No!
Number 7.
Bosses are supposed to be there to threaten you, to kill you. When you're up against Moldorm from A Link to the Past, he's actually just there to piss you off. He's a worm that moves in unpredictable patterns and isn't there to deal damage as much as he's there to constantly push you off the edge. Every time you fall, the boss fight essentially stops. The music ends, you have to go back up the stairs, the music restarts from the beginning, and you have to run half a lap around the room just to get back to where Trolldorm is. Every time you fall off, you have to start the entire fight all over again. He's not insanely difficult, just insanely annoying.
Number 6.
Morpheal from Twilight Princess is one of those bosses that deceives you. Lots of you, I'm sure, remember this fight being exciting and epic, and it's really not hard to blame you. I mean, this boss was like the hugest one in the game, and that music when you're stabbing him in the eye just makes you go eee with excitement. But I think so many people are transfixed on those things that they don't even notice what's actually happening. Nothing. When the underwater Sarlacc sprouts up out of the ground, it, doesn't attack you. Or if it does, you wouldn't know it as long as you keep moving. I almost feel kinda guilty slaughtering it. Sorry, pal, but, this game won't let me leave until you're a corpse. Had things been different, maybe Morpheal could have been a candidate for our last list. But rather than being truly cool, Morpheal just ends up looking like something cool.
Number 5.
If Twinrova has taught us anything, it's that using fire to combat ice and vice versa is a lot of fun. If Fraz from Spirit Tracks has taught us anything, it's that that isn't enough to make a boss fight fun all by itself. Imagine that battle from Ocarina of Time, just with boring battle music, slow-paced action, and a boss that looks like an inflatable Stitch with absolutely zero stage presence, and you've pretty much got the same thing. Boring!
Number 4.
On the last list, we made it clear that we're big fans of the Twilight Fossil Stallard fight from Twilight Princess. Its biggest strengths for sure were the originality of its concept and the lightning-fast speed at which you both move. In the beloved Nintendo classic Link's crossbow training, the skeletal monster made a return as the final boss. But this time around, you fought him by shooting his hands. Gee, Nintendo has never done a boss like this one before.
Number 3.
Just because it wasn't as strong as the consoles of its day, that doesn't excuse the Game Boy Zeldas from having lousy bosses. Remember the Dark Dragon battle from Oracle of Seasons? That was awesome. Much unlike the anglerfish from Link's Awakening. You want to know how lame the anglerfish is? He's already dead. That's how lame. His obvious weak spot is exposed at all times and is conveniently on the part of his body that's closest to you when you enter. And even if you somehow don't kill him in seconds, his attacks aren't hard to avoid for anyone who's ever played a side-scrolling shmup. Besides, anglerfish? That's the best name you could come up with for a boss? Even Georg is a better name than that. This thing is so easy to beat that I've already had to loop the same footage a couple times just to fill in the time it takes for me to complain about it.
Number 2.
It's not exactly uncommon for bosses to be larger, amped-up versions of common enemies. Except that in the Minish Cap, the big green choo-choo isn't actually big, just that you are small. So explain to me again why an enemy who normally dies in 2 hits is the guardian of the earth element? Judging by the expression on its face, I have to wonder, do they even do mental health checks to make sure that such a responsibility should even go to these guys? You are being shredded to bits by my gust jar, Mr. Chew! How do you feel? Oh, you're happy about it. Alright. Big Green Choo-Choo sucks so badly that an upgraded, electrified version of itself that appears later on in the game is downgraded to mini-boss status. Somehow, someway, it actually gets worse than this, but before we see how, let's recap 10 through 2. Number 10, Tantalus. Number 9, George. Number 8, The Imprisoned. Number 7, Moldorm. Number 6, Morpheal. Number 5, Fraz. Number 4, Twilight Fossil Stallard from Link's Crossbow Training. Number 3, The Anglerfish. And number 2, The Big Green Choo-Choo.
It's number 1.
Join me, Link, and I will make your face the greatest in Koridai, or else you will die.
Some things are best enjoyed as internet videos and not as interactive entertainment. Even at that, when the greatest thing you've ever amounted to is called YouTube poop, well, there's a decent bet that you're Ganon from Wand of Gamelon and Faces of Evil on CDI. Or Zelda's Adventure, but the Ganon that shrugged fireballs at you still wasn't as bad as the other monstrosities.
You dare bring light to my lair? You must die!
I am honestly having a hard time deciding which of these is technically worse. Wand of Gamelon, although it had slightly more effort put into it, made you deal with the less than fun platforming. Faces of Evil had the lazier design, but at least had the courtesy to just beat over with quicker, and the final boss from each dies in 1 hit. All of them are by far worse than anything else on this list, but if we must order them further, it's gotta go in order of which ones made you endure the CDI for longer. So it's official then. Number 1.3 goes to Zelda's Adventure, number 1.2 goes to Faces of Evil, and the number 1.1 worst Zelda boss is the Ganon fight from Wand of Gamelon.
The chains! No! You haven't seen the last of me!
May that book never be opened for any reason, ever, ever, ever again.